Ladies and gentlemen, the amount of nostalgia that's about to come in this video is going to be epic. For me, anyway.
Let's get it. Yeah.
Greetings, comrades. This is Caleb, back with another controller review. It's been a while since I've done one of these. Because, well, I've got quite a few controllers and I'm trying to spend as much time with them as I can. And this is one of those controllers, the Hyperkin Xenon. This is actually the first Hyperkin controller I've ever bought. Actually, the first Hyperkin product I've ever bought. And I must say, I'm really impressed. Even though it does fall short on a few things. And for the purposes of this video, I'm also going to be comparing it to the original Xbox 360 controller. Unfortunately, this one doesn't work anymore because, well, I tried to clean out the thumbsticks, but I ended up making it worse. And I guess while taking it apart, I messed something up. And I tried to put batteries in it, it would no longer power on. So, yep, this controller, well, it's had its better days behind it. So, it's pretty much a display piece at this point. Still a great controller though, and Hyperkin took notice and decided to recreate the Xbox 360 controller for the modern Xboxes, the Xbox One, the Xbox Series and all that stuff, and of course PC. And yes, this is a nice trip down memory lane and then some. So, let's go and talk about the feel. Now, if you ever held a 360, I can talk. If you ever held a 360 controller back in the day, you'll feel right at home with this. It's pretty much a near one-to-one replica of the 360 controller. The few differences, you can obviously see a few of them right away. But yeah, I've always liked the 360 controller, even though the later Xbox controllers improved it in many, many ways. But holding this, it feels like I'm back in 2007 again, which is when I first bought my 360, believe it or not. But yeah, it feels right at home. Buttons are pretty much the same, the joysticks. Yeah, I will say this, the joysticks, there's not as much resistance with them as the original joypad, but there's a reason for that. And we'll get to that later. And, the D-pad, we'll get to that in a minute, but I'll tell you right now, it's a huge improvement over the original, I'll tell you that. But yeah, it pretty much just feels like a regular Xbox 360 controller, because, you reach triggers, bumpers, which are oddly clickier than the original, but they work. And yeah, no battery code because this is wired only. In fact, it says right here on the back, Xenon wired controller. I don't know if they're gonna make a wireless version, which I'm still hoping they do, but at this point, if they don't want to, that's fine. I'm still waiting for the Duchess controller. Oh boy, that'll be fun. But yeah, like I said, it's a near one-to-one replica of the Xbox 360 controller. Buttons, the joysticks, everything's pretty much the same. Of course, with the addition of the share button in the middle, and the back and start buttons being replaced by the option menu buttons here. And naturally, there's no ring light around the 360 logo, but there's just one light up here, which lets you know that it's powered on. Which can only be powered on if you have a Type-C cable plugged in. And yeah, it's just spot on to the 360 controller, I have to admit it. And if you never grew up with the 360, then this might feel a little weird for you, but or if you're born into the PlayStation 3 era, which is the same DualShock controller they had since the mid-90s. But yeah. Like I said, it feels just like a regular 360 controller, down to the button placement and everything. Now, as far as features go, honestly, you can't expect much. Because, well, if you have a standard Xbox Series controller like this one here, then you know exactly what to expect from this. Just with a few differences. For one, again, it's wired only, so that I cannot stress that enough. This is wired only, you have to use. But thankfully, it does come with a Type-C cable, a pretty good length cable too. I think it's around 10 feet. It's a pretty good length, especially since, meant for the Xbox and your cable's not long enough, then you kind of have a problem. Especially how big TVs are these days. But if you're playing on the PC, then this is more than adequate. But yeah, any Type-C cable will do, as long as you keep in mind this little indentation in the middle. So yeah, if it can't fit through there, then you can't use it. So I say stick with the one it comes with. But yeah, as far as it's pretty much just your standard Xbox Series controller in an Xbox 360 controller shell. You know, down to the share button and everything else. And notice a big difference here. And compared to the original, this uses a proprietary headphone jack for their headsets and stuff. This is your standard 3.5mm head jack. So, you know, you're playing this on Xbox and you have a headset you can plug in here, you can use it. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as features go. It's, like I said, it's your standard Xbox Series controller, just in the 360 controller shell. But there is one major feature though, which oddly, this isn't officially advertised in the Amazon page or anything, but when I tested these thumbsticks in Gamepad Tester, I only had a 1% error rate. Which can be only one of two things. Either one, this is a brand new potentiometer technology that's a lot more accurate and reliable than previous potentiometer joysticks, or two, the more likely option, these are Hall effect joysticks. Which I even checked the official Hyperkin page for this. It doesn't advertise these as Hall effect joysticks, but I don't know of any other joysticks that has a 1% error rate as opposed to the usual 8 to 12% you get from your normal potentiometer joysticks and your current controllers and whatnot. And I might as well tell right now, this D-pad here, huge improvement over the original. 360 because here's the original. Yeah, you see how it slides around. It's pretty much just a crappy joystick masquerading as a D-pad. And I think Review Tech USA said it best. Whoever designed this D-pad should be arrested and thrown in a Turkish prison. Whereas this one, whoever designed this D-pad, or rather whoever redesigned it, should be given a raise. Because if you press it, I'm going to show the light here, it doesn't slide around or anything. It behaves like a regular D-pad. Granted, it's not as clicky as the standard Xbox Series D-pad, which I still love, but this is a huge improvement over the original. And one other thing I got to mention regarding the joysticks, maybe it's just me. Actually, maybe it's just me, but the joysticks look a little bit thinner than the original. Here's the 360. I know the lighting's kind of weird, but yeah, these look a little bit thicker than the original, whereas here they're a bit thinner. Kind of hard to tell here, but yeah. And as I mentioned previously, they have a lot less resistance. Like if you have the 360 control sticks, there's requires a little bit of give. Whereas with the Xenon, it's almost effortless. It's like less than half the resistance of the original, but as I mentioned, these are most likely Hall effect joysticks. Because again, I didn't see this officially advertised on the Amazon page or anything like that. But unless this is some brand new potentiometer technology, these are Hall effect joysticks. They only have 1% error rate, so I can't think of any other explanation regarding that. But yeah, went longer than I expected to. But yeah, as features go, it's pretty basic. And ease of use, you know, it's a wire control. You plug it in and it's gonna work. You know, plug it in your Xbox, your PC, it's fine. Though, good luck trying to use it on other consoles. Haven't tried it myself. I suppose you have like a special adapter or something you can use it. Like those Brook adapters, I think you could probably try that out. I don't have one of those, but maybe one day I'll try it on the Switch. But yeah, no firmware needed, no fancy app to download to get it to work. Just plug it in, and you're good to go. Just plug and play. That's all there is to it. So it can't get much easier than that. And I've played quite a few games with this, and it felt like I was way back in 2007 when I got my 360 for the first time. You know, I just can't explain it in this one video. If you know, you know. That's all I can say. But as far as cons go, well, I've kind of mentioned one already. It doesn't really do anything special out of the box. It's, like I said, it's your standard Xbox controller in a 360 controller shell. Though, this is pretty much a minor nitpick for me, but again, I cannot stress enough, wired only. Hyperkin, if you're watching this, make a wireless version with the battery pack, because I know this battery pack's kind of divisive. Some people prefer the battery compartment with current Xbox controllers, but something about inserting batteries in this, it just felt satisfying. I made a short showing this, but honestly, those are my only two gripes with this controller. You know, it doesn't offer any special features aside from the possible Holodeck joysticks, and it's wired only. So that's pretty much it as far as cons go. Because honestly, other than the D-pad, you can't argue too much about the original 360 controller. In a way, this improves on it, and then some. So as far as pros go, I forgot to mention the price actually. Pretty affordable at $50. A little cheaper than your standard Xbox controller. So yeah, $50. Classic 360 controller feel, nearly one-to-one replica. Vastly improved D-pad over the original. And these have to be Holodeck joysticks. I can't offer any other explanation. But as far as cons go, again, wired only. You need to have a wire to use it. And it doesn't offer any special features out of the box. But in the end, do I recommend the Hyperkin Xenon controller? Yes, asterisk. And I'll get to that. You know, if you grew up with the 360, if you love the 360 like I did, and you know, you want to have the good feel of the 360 controller while playing Vampire Survivors or the newest Call of Duty or whatever, this is a trip down memory lane, and I'll be happy to go down it again. You know, even though it doesn't offer anything special, it feels really good. And it's just a nice controller to have in my collection. I love the 360 controller despite the D-pad flaws. And like I said, this improved on it in so many ways. Now, I put the asterisk in the end because, well, if you never grew up with the 360, you're more into like the PlayStation 3 back in the day, if you're with the DualShock 3 controller and whatnot, and then you go to this might feel a little weird for you. And honestly, if you didn't play the 360 at all, then I pity you. But basically, you know, if you're more in line with the PlayStation 3 than the 360, then maybe take a pass on this controller. And if you're one of those people that prefer wireless controllers over wired controllers, then this might be one you want to skip unless they make a wireless version, which I'm actually starting to doubt it. If they're going to release it, they would have made it by now. But for everyone else, you know, even if you didn't really like the 360 but still like the controller, you can't argue at $50. It's not too bad. Hyperkin Xenon. It's just, you know, it just feels nice to hold this familiar shape again. Now, stay tuned because I'm going to be reviewing another of Hyperkin's offerings, and I've quite a bit to say about this one. Anyway, this is I'm Caleb, signing out. Have a good day.
Suck it up, life's tough, we know that. Someone's got better stuff and can throw cash. Tell them I don't give a fuck, make my own path. I don't need no handouts, I'm my own man. Gotta get it, I'll get it in fast, yeah. Got a girl and she'll get it, she bad, yeah. Man, I only get down with the best, I'ma leave the complaints with the rest,